One, she had to be enshrouded by the Holy Spirit. The Bible says overshadowed. And two, she had to be made immaculate. And truly, that's what reconciliation is all about. That's the whole purpose of confession and penance, to make us holy, to make us immaculate, to make us sinless and worthy to receive Holy Communion. St. Paul said in 1 Corinthians 11:29, therefore, whoever eats the bread and drinks the cup of the Lord in an unworthy manner is guilty of sinning against the body and blood of the Lord. How about that? So when we partake of Holy Communion, we do that so that we can become like Jesus and so that we can enjoy his ultimate friendship. When we consume the Holy Eucharist, it has the power to transform us. We become holy temples of the living God. We become living tabernacles of the bread of life. We become hundreds of arks of the covenant holding in our own bodies the risen Lord. The Eucharist is the source and summit of our faith. It allows us to receive our risen Lord, to incubate his love and his life throughout our life. We become like a shining light, so bright that you couldn't possibly hide it under a bucket. I don't know about you, but when I think about awesome partners, I think the creator of the universe might not be too bad of a friend. And I'm hoping that the creator of the universe will become a best friend. And that's the point. That's the point of going to church, is to live. I've been talking about this forever since I've been on the air. To live a life of sacrifice, to take a hold of yourself, and to do the things like what Matt Walsh was saying. I mean, go back to some of the old rules. Go back to the old school teachings about chastity and modesty and propriety, and live your life that way. There might be something to it. There might be a direct correlation to the reason we have all these difficulties in life, all this sexual harassment, all these, all this violence and unhappiness and angst. Maybe a reason there's all that. And at the same time, we've abandoned God. We say, we don't need a relationship. He doesn't really exist. It's a myth. It's a story that was told to me by my grandparents, or whatever. All those things. They all add up, it seems to me, to a world of complete and utter chaos. So, you don't want chaos in your life? I mean, listen, I'm going to tell you a little bit later. I think, hopefully I'll have time for that. I'm going to tell you a little bit later about the chaos and anger and bitterness of my life. And that all changed when I got to know Jesus. This is Donald Carpenter with the Family Man's Faith and Finance Show. We'll be right back.
NBC Talk Radio, 1050 AM.
Some combinations were just meant to go together. Chips and salsa, refrigerator and freezer, the internet, and those cute little cat videos. At State Farm, there's another combination meant to go together. Home and auto. As in combining your home and auto insurance with one agent. Which leads to another combination, saving dollars and cents. Your State Farm agent, the DeSalvo Insurance Agency, is here to help life go right. Combine home and auto and see how much you can save. For more information, call the DeSalvo Insurance Agency at 310-553-0241 in Beverly Hills, or find him on the web at BillDeSalvo.com. That's BILLDISALVO.com.
Hi, this is Donald Carpenter. I've written a pretty interesting book. It's called The Family Man's Stock Market Volatility Survival Guide, How to Defend Your Family in Any Economy. To pick up a copy of The Family Man's Stock Market Volatility Survival Guide, go to Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, or the website FamilyManSMBSG.com.
We want to share a secret with you. There's a new and revolutionary way to bring the Earth's most effective organic plant extracts directly to your skin in a pure and healthy way. Lule Botanicals utilizes a breakthrough process called supercritical plant extraction. Your skin will radiate vitality and health like never before. No one wants to kiss an alligator face. Now they won't have to. Visit us on the web at www.lulebotanicals.com. That's LOULEIBOTANICALS.com. To get your 20% discount, use promo code LLB20.
Dr. Tatsuo Hirano asks, why suffer and ignore your pain and illness? Stop it before it gets out of control. Acupuncture is like fresh air, revitalizing your body and mind. Dr. Tatsuo Hirano, renowned acupuncturist to the stars and world-class performing artists, will help you get back to optimum health. To explore the healing arts of Oriental medicine, call Dr. Hirano at 818-244-2287. The first 20 callers will receive 10% off their first visit. Just say Donald Carpenter sent you.
Berndorf Law Offices, located in Los Angeles, is an employment, counseling, and litigation boutique law firm for California employers and executives. Employment laws change almost daily, and penalties for noncompliance are substantial. If you're an employer in Southern California and need assistance navigating the waters of employee relations, legal aspects of human resources management, or need defense against a lawsuit, our lawyers can help. Find us on the web at berndorflaw.com. That's BIRNDORFLAW.com. Or on Twitter at Law4CA Employers.
It's Donald Carpenter with the Family Man's Faith and Finance Show. And guess what? We're back. Hey, before we get in too far into the show, I wanted to remind you all to go see the Daughters of St. Paul's concert. It's called Love Among Us. And it's the first time in 22 years that the sisters are going to be performing in the Los Angeles area. And they're going to be at the Veterans Memorial Complex December 15th and 16th at 7:30. And if you want tickets, go to daughtersofstpaulchoir.org and you can buy them there. And they've got some left, but it's kind of filling up. I mean, they do this show in New Orleans and they do it back east. It's been going on for over 20 years, and it's apparently pretty great. We had on Sister Nancy Usselman, and she was talking about how fantastic the show was and how it was like Sister Act with actual sisters. And that just seems like a really great thing to do. So I'd recommend going and seeing Love Among Us for your Christmas entertainment, the Daughters of St. Paul, Veterans Memorial Complex at December 15th and 16th. And that's my plug for the sisters. So we were talking about, maybe getting through some of the anxiety and bitterness and difficulty in life by getting closer to God. And so, oh man, I got to tell you, it's a personal story, right? But I wasn't always as happy and easygoing and rolling with the punches that I am now. And sometimes it even surprises me because, man, I have changed a lot, I think. And the reason that I think that is because people that knew me in the past have said things to me about it. As a matter of fact, the most dramatic was, let me see, it was in 2009. I had gone back to church, started back for about 3 years, and decided in 2006 needed to make a change. Things weren't going the way I wanted them to go. It wasn't perfect, but the changing wasn't perfect. But I was, starting to make some progress, make some headway with the help of God, the grace of God, of course. And so I just was driving down Santa Monica Boulevard, and I saw a church there that I'd passed for 10 years. I took a ride into the church, and I actually basically just stayed there ever since. It was the Church of the Good Shepherd in Beverly Hills. And never really been to a Catholic church before that. and I wanted to see where it was, because I've been to all the other ones. I've been to evangelical churches. I've been to Methodist churches. Hung out with the Mormons for 20 years. I mean, I've been to a lot of churches. I've been to Buddhist churches. I've been to Buddhist temples. Yeah, I have a degree in comparative religion. So I've studied religion. I've been to mosques. I have been to synagogues. I have been around the religious community. And I was talking to my son the other day, my youngest son, and I said, yep. I said, a lot of years of meditation and studying, and finding out about God. And he was like, man, you didn't have to do all that. I said, well, actually, that was my way of kind of getting through all this and trying to figure it all out and trying to find God. And where's he at? Where are you, God? And so started just going to church, and I was really skeptical. So I was going there every Sunday for 3 years. Matter of fact, they thought I was already Catholic, and I wasn't. But so I went through the RCIA program, which is the Rite of Christian Initiation for Adults, and it was amazing. I mean, I was learning a lot, and I felt like I could feel the presence of God there. It was just like, wow, this is really different. It was a lot different than I expected. And people were open and warm and welcoming, and I really liked it. Anyway, so I was all set, ready to go. I think, hey, I think I'm going to become Catholic, because I like what they say, and I feel the presence of God here. And everything that I've read and studied about them is supported either through history, like these are the things that the first and early Christians believed, and or the Bible. And so I was like, this is fantastic. So it came to the day that I was going to get baptized, and I was I get up early in the morning anyway, so it was dark outside, and I was just full of doubts, and I was like, oh man, I'm not going to do this. I'm the oldest guy in my class. What am I doing? I'm running around like a little punk, and I don't know what's going on. I was just really full of doubts. And so I sat on my sofa, and I was saying my prayers, and it was dark outside, and it was dark inside my apartment. And I felt this little beam of light that just shone on the left side of my head. And I thought, well, maybe that's God trying to tell me something. But my eyes were still closed, and so I kind of smiled, and I felt a little peaceful smile. I felt peaceful inside. And so I turned and looked at the little beam of light that was coming through the blinds. And the next thing I saw, I couldn't believe it. I looked at that beam of light, and I saw the giant ball of the sun. And inside the ball of the sun was a black flaming cross. I was just like, the hair on the back of my head stood up. I just could not believe it. All those doubts, and there was this giant ball of the sun and a black flaming cross of the sun. And if you don't know by now that I'm really a skeptic, this is going to prove it to you, because the next thing I did was I jumped up off of my sofa and I flung my blinds open to see what the heck was I looking at. And the scene that started to unfold in front of me was kind of dramatic, because it was still early morning. The sun was just coming up. And what it was doing was it was reflecting off of, had been surrounded by glass skyscrapers, the sun, okay? And it was reflecting off of those, all the light of the sun being magnified off of these skyscrapers, where it was just a huge, gigantic, bright light. And right in the center of that, a construction crew from the night before had placed a crane, a huge, giant crane, one of those cranes that they use to, carry giant steel girders and big piles of material for building, thousands of pounds. Right in the middle of the sun stood this crane, and that was the big black cross. And I couldn't believe it. And I was just like, oh my goodness, because it wasn't so much the sight of the big black cross and the flaming cross and the flaming ball of the sun that amazed me, although it made the hair on the back of my head stand up. What it was the coincidences that had to get it there. Because somebody the night before, some construction worker, hey, Joe, I'm going to park this crane right here. Can I leave it here? Should I put it over there? And they left it right where I needed it to be. In the morning, when I woke up, with my heart full of doubts and my head weary and worn, and not even knowing if I was doing the right thing. And they had to place it right there at the perfect angle where I, on the second floor of at 5 o'clock in the morning, sitting on my sofa in the dark, when the light touched the left side of my head, would open my eyes, and what would I see at that moment of my doubt and my prayer? So it was all the coincidences. A buddy of mine said there are no coincidences, only God incidences. And I'll tell you, man, that was one of the biggest ones of my life. And you know what I did that day? I got baptized. And it's been Holy Communion ever since. And by communion, I mean union with God. And that's where the joy of life is. And it wasn't just, okay, now I get to go to church every day and be a happy camper. No, you got to struggle through life. Guess what? You got to deal with the reality of life. You got to deal with the relationships, the ones you broke, the ones you smashed, the ones you hurt, the people you hurt. You have to live your life and apologize to them and rebuild those. You have to live your life that isn't so destructive. I mean, I was bitter and angry and cranky. Now, here's the kicker. I was telling you that 3 months later, after I got baptized, somebody came up to me and said, "What the heck happened to you?" And I said, "I don't know what happened to me." "What do you mean, what happened to me?" "You're not the big jerk you used to be." I said, "Well, I've been going to church for 3 months." I'd actually been going to church for 3 years. I mean, seriously, really trying to recommit myself, rededicate myself to the Lord. And honestly, it's like every day is amazing now. I mean, it's not without trouble. It's not without hassle. That's why God gives us the Holy Eucharist. That's why he gives us church. That's why he gives us our community, so that we can be refreshed and renewed. And yes, we go there to get something out of it, but the more we give, the more we get out of it. So you get involved in ministry. You help the homeless. You feed the hungry. You do everything it says in Matthew chapter 5. You feed the hungry. You give them clothing. You feed them when they're hungry. You give them drink when they're thirsty. You visit the people in prison. You take care. And remember the parable? He said, there are going to be some that say, "Well, when did we see you in all that condition? When did we see you without food or without clothing?" And he said, the least of these, those are the ones that you didn't take care of. They were me. And you were to take care of them as though they were me. Love them like I love you. St. Teresa of Avila said that we are God's hands. We're his feet. We're his eyes. We are the ones that go into the world and do his work. And that's the work that you have to do. That's the work that the Holy Eucharist brings you into unity with God, living inside of your body to make you more like him. Now, I'm telling you, it's changed my life. I mean, 180 degrees, to the point that people don't think I'm a jerk anymore. The people that still know me might think I'm a jerk, but it's working out pretty good. This is Donald Carpenter with Family Man's Faith and Finance Show. We'll be right back.
NBC Talk Radio, 1050 AM.
Some combinations were just meant to go together. Chips and salsa, refrigerator and freezer, the internet, and those cute little cat videos. At State Farm, there's another combination meant to go together. Home and auto, as in combining your home and auto insurance with one agent, which leads to another combination, saving dollars and cents. Your State Farm agent, the DeSalvo Insurance Agency, is here to help life go right. Combine home and auto and see how much you can save. For more information, call the DeSalvo Insurance Agency at 310-553-0241 in Beverly Hills, or find him on the web at BillDeSalvo.com. That's BILLDISALVO.com.
Hi, this is Donald Carpenter. You know, I've written a pretty interesting book. It's called The Family Man's Stock Market Volatility Survival Guide, How to Defend Your Family in Any Economy. To pick up a copy of The Family Man's Stock Market Volatility Survival Guide, go to Amazon.com, barnesandnoble.com, or the website familymansmbsg.com.
We want to share a secret with you. There's a new and revolutionary way to bring the Earth's most effective organic plant extracts directly to your skin in a pure and healthy way. Lule Botanicals utilizes a breakthrough process called supercritical plant extraction. Your skin will radiate vitality and health like never before. No one wants to kiss an alligator face. Now they won't have to. Visit us on the web at www.lulebotanicals.com. That's LULEIBOTANICALS.com. To get your 20% discount, use promo code LLB20.
Dr. Tatsuo Hirano asks, why suffer and ignore your pain and illness? Stop it before it gets out of control. Acupuncture is like fresh air, revitalizing your body and mind. Dr. Tatsuo Hirano, renowned acupuncturist to the stars and world-class performing artists, will help you get back to optimum health. To explore the healing arts of Oriental medicine, call Dr. Hirano at 818-244-2287. The first 20 callers will receive 10% off their first visit. Just say Donald Carpenter sent you.
Berndorf Law Offices, located in Los Angeles, is an employment, counseling, and litigation boutique law firm for California employers and executives. Employment laws change almost daily, and penalties for noncompliance are substantial. If you're an employer in Southern California and need assistance navigating the waters of employee relations, legal aspects of human resources management, or need defense against a lawsuit, our lawyers can help. Find us on the web at berndorflaw.com. That's BIRNDORFLAW.com. Or on Twitter at Law4CA Employers.
It's Donald Carpenter. We're back with the Family Man's Faith and Finance Show. Oh, man. You know, I love telling those stories and talking about that stuff. I mean, I still got a long way to go. I got relationships that need repairing. I got new ones that are coming up. You know, people I'm going to meet that they're going to be like, oh, who's this crazy guy? But, you know, I'm just doing the best I can with and through the grace of God to be the best he wants me to be. So that's what I'm trying to do. But, you know, I mean, I could go on with the faith thing for another couple of days, but it's the Faith and Finance Show. So we're going to talk about some finances right now. My disclaimer is that anything I say about markets and investing is presented for informational purposes only. The information I give is not a recommendation to buy or sell any security or investment. The information I give is not legal advice. The information I give is not tax advice. It's not accounting advice. The information I give is not investment advice. All investments have risk. All investments can go up and down in price. You need to talk to your own financial professional before investing. Oh, man. What happened last week? I love asking that question this year because it's been one of the most spectacular years of my career in terms of stock market investing. Friday's unemployment report came in at a 17-year low, 4.1%. U.S. industrial production posted the best growth rate, 2.9% year over year for October in 3 years. Best growth rate in 3 years for the U.S. industrial production. The NASDAQ, tech-heavy NASDAQ, hit a fresh, new, all-time high. Do you realize the S&P 500 has hit over 60 all-time highs this year? Over 60. It's been amazing, man. And the Bears are having a tough year. I'm telling you, they are having a tough year. Hey, so what happened week over week in foreign currency, fixed income, and commodities? The U.S. dollar fell 0.8% on the week, and it's been down 8.4% year to date. The Euro USD cross was up 1.1% on the week to up 12.1% year to date. The euro's been on fire. The yen dollar cross rallied 1.2% on the week, and it's up 3.4%, but it's not looking too good going forward. The U.S. dollar itself was down negative 0.7% on the week. The CRB commodities, that's 19 different commodities in that index, corrected 0.7% on the week, but it's in an accelerating trend now. Imagine that. Oil, West Texas crude, it corrected 0.3% on the week, but it's also in an accelerating trend. Gold bounced 1.6% last week, and it's in an accelerating trend. Copper was down a tiny bit, 0.2 last week, and it's continuing its yearly acceleration. Corn was down another 0.5%, and it's headed lower, looks like. The U.S. Treasury two-year yield was up 7 basis points to 1.72%, and it's headed higher, looks like. Well, if the Fed raises interest rates, it will be going higher. The 10-year yield was down 6 basis points to 3.4%, and looks like it's headed higher. And the yield spread, that's the 10-year yield minus the 2-year, it fell 13 basis points on the week to 64 basis points. So that's 62 bips, 62. High yield bonds saw another 11 basis point bounce in yield to 5.66%, but it looks like they're headed lower. This has been an amazing year, and you know what? I'm so thankful and blessed to having been a part of it and to have been on the right side of that trade. My goodness, if you'd have listened to me in November 15th of 2016, you'd be killing it. And man, my clients are happier. They're really happy with me now. We've made more money this year than any single year that I've been in this business. And I've been doing this for more than 20 years. So this is it's been pretty outrageously great. But we had to learn a very important lesson. And that was that it wasn't going to happen overnight. We had to change our paradigm, and we definitely had to take our politics out of our portfolio management. Did you do it? Did you take your politics out of your portfolio management? If you did, you probably had one of the best portfolio returns of your life. And it's been a great year for the market. So the week ahead, today, leading indicators announced, and they swung to the high end of the estimate at plus 2.1%. That's a composite of 10 forward-looking components that includes things like building permits, new factory orders, and unemployment claims. Tuesday, the Chicago Fed National Activity Index comes out, Red Book, existing home sales, and bank reserve settlement. Wednesday, MBA mortgage applications, durable goods, jobless claims, Bloomberg Consumer Comfort, consumer sentiment, EIA Petroleum, EIA Natural Gas, and the Federal Open Market Committee meeting minutes. Thursday, gobble, 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 Turkey Day, markets are going to be closed. Yay! And I'm going to stuff myself with pumpkin pie. And Friday, they're going to close early. The New York Stock Exchange is going to close early, and other markets are going to close early as well here in the United States. But we get some reporting that day, the PMI, composite flash, and the Baker-Hughes count, the Fed balance sheet, and the money supply. So that's going to be for next week. What does it look like going forward? We continue to see an environment where inflation started to spike upward along with growth. But as long as growth is going upward and as long as growth is increasing, I mean, we're almost completely through the S&P 500 reporting, and the tech sector is up over 22%. I mean, that's ridiculous. It's one of the best returns in high tech in the last 6 years. It's absolutely phenomenal. And the point is, I think we're going to continue to see that happen and continue to grow. Why? Because we don't really have any tough comparables, any problem with, because all the comparables are made what happened at the same time last year. And what happened at the same time last year was abysmal for the entire year because the year before that was a wreck. Well, now this coming year, they're going to have to compare against this year, which has been phenomenal. So you have to get phenomenal on top of phenomenal in order to get continued growth in the stock market. Could it happen? Yes. Will it happen? There's a low probability. So we don't have to be on the sidelines yet. We don't have to be, too cautious yet because that doesn't happen until second quarter, about March, April. Then you're going to start to have some tough comparables. All right. So you know what's really great about my life is that, and my relationship with God, is that He uses flawed people. And I've talked about this before, but I want to go to help you because you know what? I'm not perfect, and I'm probably worse than you, but you're probably not perfect either. Even if you tell your wife you are, I'm sure you're not. But I'm not kidding you. God uses flawed people. They're in the Bible. They're everywhere in the Bible. I mean, Noah was a drunk. Abraham was too old for his prophet job. Isaac was a daydreamer. Jacob was a liar. Leah was ugly. Joseph was abused. Remember, they threw him in a pit and they stole his coat, sold him into slavery. I think he got back at him, but in a nice way. Moses stuttered and he killed an Egyptian guard, for goodness sakes. Gideon, he was fearful. Samson was a long-haired womanizer. Rahab was a prostitute. Jeremiah and Timothy were both too young to do their job. David was an adulterer and a murderer. Oh, these guys. Elijah was suicidal. Isaiah, he preached naked. Jonah ran from God until the whale got him. I don't want the whale to get me, so I'm going to do some preaching today. Naomi was a widow. Job went bankrupt, and his whole family died, poor guy. John the Baptist ate bugs in the desert. Peter denied Christ 3 times. The disciples fell asleep while praying. Have you ever done that in church? You don't have to confess to me. Martha worried about everything. The Samaritan woman was divorced more than once. Zacchaeus was too small. Paul was too religious, and according to him, he helped murder Christians. Timothy had an ulcer, and Lazarus was dead. Me, I was just bitter, angry, and my life was chaotic. I was hard on my family. I was hard on my friends. But God stepped in. Once I kind of said help. I was talking to my youngest son in the same conversation I referenced earlier. I said, man, I got to the point where you can only get hit over the head with a 2x4, figuratively and literally, so many times. And you get to a position, perhaps you're not as stubborn as I am, because I got to put in a position where the only option I had left was listening. God saying, Donnie, are you going to listen to me? And oh, yes, Lord, I will listen. Because, man, I had no other options. He changed me. He made me better. Not perfect, just better. And now I can say that I am friends with the Lord of the universe. And you need to be friends with him, too. Hey, don't forget God's plan for your life. Genesis 1:28-27. God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created human beings, male and female. He created them. God blessed them, and God said to them, be fruitful, multiply, and fill the earth. Happy Thanksgiving. God bless you. We'll see you next week. Donald Carpenter with the Family Man's Faith and Finance Show.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM.
I'm Chuck Kamlick, CNBC. Stocks put one in the win column today. The Dow picked up 72 points. The Nasdaq added 8. The S&P 3. The government may sue to stop AT&T and Time Warner from merging. No reason officially yet, but a news conference is scheduled shortly. Verizon's working on a new streaming deal with the NFL. That sent Verizon's stock higher and helped lift the markets. There are reports Nestle may want to buy tea maker Hain Celestial. Nestle's also teaming up with Hostess on a new treat called Butterfinger Brownies. Tyson Foods will open a big chicken plant in Tennessee, creating 1,500 jobs. Nebraska has approved plans to let TransCanada build the Keystone XL pipeline through that state. And don't stress out Thanksgiving Day rushing to get to the store for those big deals. A new survey shows 41% of Americans just want a gift card for the holidays. Wallet Hub says the top 3 most desired cards are iTunes, Starbucks, and Walmart. Chuck Kamlick, CNBC.
It's time for some straight talk. The big wireless companies charge a boatload for their superior network coverage. But guess what? Straight Talk uses the same cell towers but charges a lot less. Who knew? Well, now you do. And I do. So let's do something. It's time to switch to Straight Talk. Unlimited plans start as low as $35 a month on America's largest, most dependable networks. Straight Talk Wireless, only at Walmart.
Savings may vary. A month equals 30 days. Please refer always to the latest terms and conditions of service at straighttalk.com.
Sarah, can you step in here a moment?
Sure.
So, big news.
Oh?
You're being promoted to regional sales manager.
That's great to hear, Alan. Thank you.
Talk to corporate. Approve memo.
Tens of millions of songs, one for every moment. Amazon Music Unlimited. For a limited time only, sign up today and receive 3 months for 99 cents at amazon.com/music unlimited. Automatically renews. Cancel anytime.
Sarah, you can leave now.
Okay.
Look around your office. Is it time to change things up? Start a new home office or reorganize your professional office space? Visit Office Furniture Outlet in Corona and you'll feel great. With a huge inventory of both new and pre-owned office furniture, you can buy, sell, or even trade to get the job done. Office Furniture Outlet in Corona will get you looking and feeling good, and that simply means success and great business results. From executive office collections to home office options, you can find exactly what you need at an affordable price. Office Furniture Outlet. They have desk selections that range from modern and contemporary to traditional and elegant. With a large selection of sizes, finishes, and styles, you can design an office just the way